the first thing I wish I knew about homeschooling before I started out my journey is the definition of homeschooling. I believed that homeschooling was just another way of saying, let's duplicate what we see in public or private or Montessori, programs for young children. Let's duplicate that at home. I had no idea that homeschooling is simply a home education that is parent guided. That's it. It's intentional, loving parenting, where the parent chooses to take on the full responsibility of guiding the child's education. I had no clue, and I kind of feel like if I knew that before I started, it would have taken a bit of the edge off. So the second thing I wish I knew before I started homeschooling is that you don't need a teaching degree in childhood education or early childhood education to teach preschool, kindergarten, first grade. I was so, intimidated by the idea of taking on the full responsibility of my child's education. I just felt like I was not adequate in it. And so it was one of those things where I wish if I knew it before that it wasn't required, it would have taken a little bit of the edge off. So after I recorded this video and started editing it at a totally different time of the day, I realized I skipped number 3. The third thing that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling is that you don't have to know everything to begin. You can just begin and walk by faith and learn as you go. Okay, the fourth thing that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling, and this one is a huge one. Education and schooling are not the same. I thought they were synonymous. If you look in the dictionary, most of them have pretty similar definitions for both. And it wasn't until I picked up this book called Homeschool Rising by Christy Faith, which is an absolute must read for homeschool moms or anybody thinking about homeschooling. She says on page 80 that education, according to the American Psychology Association, or the APA, is the process of learning that enables individuals to achieve their full potential in society, while schooling, on the other hand, is just a structured experience in an educational institution or a traditional school. And I had to think about, my children's journey and learning journey. I didn't need to teach them how to walk. I didn't need to teach them how to eat. I didn't really need to teach them how to do anything because they just had a natural curiosity and wanted to learn. And all I did was guide them along the way and help them, to kind of minimize as many accidents and, and harmful situations, and just put them, basically put them in a safe and warm and loving environment so that they could just naturally learn at their own pace. And that's essentially what homeschooling is. I did not know this. It has been a game changer for me. And because of this key difference, it has helped me, to pivot to pursuing education and not schooling. And I don't let schooling interfere with my kids' education. Okay, so the fifth thing that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling is the fact that there is a wide array of teaching styles and methods that you can choose from, and curriculum options that go along with those methods and helps you to customize their educational experience. And the fact that, you could also do it yourself. I had no idea. So in the beginning, I started looking at traditional homeschool curriculum, which is very much in line with the public and private schools and their curriculum. I started looking at what everybody else was doing because I had no idea where to begin. And then I prayed, I sought the Lord. At times I, did nothing because I was waiting for an answer. And then finally I got the answer that I needed and the peace to DIY my curriculum. And so for the most part, for the first few years of homeschooling, I never purchased curriculum, an all-in-one curriculum. I rarely ever purchased anything outside of books and other materials and resources my kids could use to make and create. So that was it. I always DIY'd my lesson plans for Bible, for reading and math, etc. I just pulled activities and ideas and lists and made lists and put stuff together. And again, I'm an eclectic homeschool mom, and this is a lot of work. It's way more work than purchasing an all-in-one curriculum, but this is what God led me to do for my family. All right, so the sixth thing that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling is the fact that you do not need to spend 6 to 8 hours or 7 to 8 hours teaching little children, or any children for that matter, we just have way more time to use more efficiently. And I did not know that lessons for preschoolers, for example, or kindergartners only needed to be about 10 to 15 minutes. No idea, had no clue. And in the beginning, I was going so hard trying to get my little guy to sit there for like 30 minutes. When I look back on it now, I laugh. I can laugh about it now, but there was a time where I cried about it because I felt so terrible for making him sit there for 30 minutes, or becoming impatient and getting frustrated because he didn't want to sit. I didn't understand that it was not normal, and so now that we have this understanding, I'm able to, provide these short and very impactful lessons, and my kids are always ready to learn and they're excited and they get so much out of these lessons. 10 to 15 minutes. All right, and the last thing, the seventh thing that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling. God is not going to call you to home educate and not provide what you need. When God calls you to educate your children, all you need is His approval, and all you need for the future of your journey is already provided by faith. I did not know that. I thought that I needed the, approval of the state, or I needed the approval, of other educators, or even if relatives or, people would ask questions, I felt like I needed to have some amazing comeback for all the rebuttals and all of the, inquiries as to my ability to teach, and my ability to provide the type of education my kids needed. I had not really fully embraced this truth until, I'd say, in the last couple years. And so if you're thinking about homeschooling your little ones, and you feel like God is calling you to stay home and home educate, if He calls you to do that, He is really calling you to train your children up in righteousness. And then you're just kind of adding on the academics, but that's really what He's calling you to, is calling you to teach your children how to know Him, how to love Him, and how to make Him known to the world. And that's it. When He calls you to do this, He's already equipped you with everything you need. You're the one who knows exactly what your child needs and how to educate them in a way that is going to help them and prepare them to reach their full potential in life, is the Holy Spirit. So pray, trust, and believe, and you will receive everything you need. So God bless you, and I hope to see you in the next video.